what is it? Like, what's happening? What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Like, why is it important to the Falmouth community?
Okay.
I like to keep it very like casual and conversational.
I love it.
If you'd like to go off on a tangent, go for it.
I probably will.
There's not many rules here.
Okay, cool.
Hello, and welcome to Runnah, running on Cape Cod, Massachusetts and beyond, and welcome back to your favorite local running community. I'm Juliana, your host. Hello, friends. Welcome back. We are here again this week with another lovely interview. And, I didn't ask you your last name. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Conlin.
Conlin. Alicia Conlin?
Yep. Okay.
We have Alicia Conlin here today. Clearly, as you guys have seen from the last episodes and this one, I'm really good at remembering last names. So... I've learned like two things with this podcast. One, I know no one's last name. Even my closest friends, like I barely know their last names. And two, no one else knows what shoes they're wearing but me. I know what shoes people are wearing, and people walk in here and they're like, I don't know what shoes I'm wearing, Juliana. I'm like, well, I know what shoe you're wearing on your feet.
Because you're paying attention.
Yeah, so I'm clueless in one category and okay in another. But it's all good. But excited to have you, Alicia.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I think this will be fun. We're going to be talking about WellStrong and what you guys are up to here in Falmouth.
Yeah.
And it's a Falmouth, like it started in Falmouth, right?
It did,
Okay.
yes. The founder's not from Falmouth, but our first location and now our newest location is in Falmouth.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize there were two locations in Falmouth.
Well, no, just one. We moved.
Oh, you moved?
Yeah, we moved to a larger location.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, let's just talk about you, like who you are. Do you have a running history? Like, what is your running history? Where is the Alicia running history, like Wolverine origin story start?
We'll start from the beginning. So I'm currently the Executive Director at WellStrong. I started out there as a program director, and WellStrong is a wellness community. We have a wellness center for people in recovery from substance use disorder. So we offer a variety of programming, everything from fitness classes to we have a full gym with Pelotons, treadmills, weights. We have a community hangout area so people can come in and just have a cup of coffee, eat their lunch, hang out with one of our peer mentors. And all of our peer mentor staffs are also in recovery from substance use. So we have that like peer-to-peer support.
Oh, that's really, really important.
Yeah.
Really nice.
So it's like when you walk in, you know you're being greeted by somebody who can like identify with what you're going through.
Yeah. They just have that like built-in empathy. They're like, oh
Totally.
yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that compassion is super important, especially for people who are like entering early recovery, because you kind of feel really lost.
And judged, I feel
and
like.
judged, totally. Like there's some shame and guilt behind it.
For sure.
I'm also in recovery myself, so I'm celebrating 8 years actually on Wednesday, the 25th.
Woo!
Thank you. Yeah.
That's very exciting.
So I originally started as a program director at WellStrong about 4 years ago. And as for running, I hated running. Absolutely hated it.
I feel like a lot of people are going to identify with that.
Yeah. I was like,
alone.
I only run for ice cream trucks or to chase after my son.
Yes.
But WellStrong actually introduced me to running. So we have a run club that meets weekly, and that has been going on pretty much since the inception of WellStrong back in 2017. Amy Doherty, she had a brother who was struggling with substance use disorder. And when she was looking for wellness activities for him to like participate in, she noticed that there was no recovery gyms, there was no like anything wellness just for people in recovery to have that safe support. It was like you either go to an AA meeting or an NA meeting, and that was kind of all that was on the table.
Yeah, you just kind of be talking in either capacity, and there's not really...
No movement.
Yeah, and no outlets other than that.
And so like with that addictive personality, you kind of need to have that outlet to like get it out of your body and to find something else that like
you need to
it's not
replace
just you sitting. Exactly.
Habits with habits. People with addictive personalities, we don't just lose our addictive personalities when we are like purging ourselves of whatever habits that we're trying to like that are negatively impacting us.
Yeah.
We need to replace them.
Right.
We need something else to put in that place.
Yeah.
And having something positive is a nice time.
Exactly. So our founder was very much into doing triathlon. She was a runner. She did 5Ks. And so we've had a run club since the beginning. So when I became the program director, they're all like, join run club. We do the Falmouth road race every year. You're going to run this year. And I was like, absolutely not. But
no way.
I did. I started training, and I started to learn to love it. Like after I feel like that after 10 minutes of running, you kind of get past that like, oh, this is hard. And at least for me, I mentally was able to go to a space where like, I was like, this is enjoyable. And I kind of can get out of my own head and not focus on anything else except for like what's in front of me, like next step.
I would say the first mile is a lie.
Yeah, it is a lie.
First mile is such a lie.
It beats you up.
Yeah, the first mile you're like, oh, this sucks. Why am I out here? Like my legs are hurt, my knees
are killing me.
And then you get past mile 1 and like everything kind of just like settles into place a little bit, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I wasn't dying.
Yeah.
I was okay. I was being a drama queen.
Right. It's that mind over matter. Totally.
Now, did you find that you kind of fell in love with it because there was such a supportive community around like this run club from WellStrong?
Yeah, so we have a couple of volunteers who have been helping with the run club, and they are really like so good about catering it to whoever shows up, right?
Yeah.
So it's for all levels. It's not like you go and they're just gonna take off and leave without you. Like they know that, okay, so if it's your first time going, we run down to the beach, we run down Mira Vista.
Yep.
And then we cut over so that we come up on that, I forget the name of the pond. There's like a pond over there on the left.
Oh, yeah, I know
Green
what pond you're
or
talking about. Yeah,
something?
potentially.
Yeah, so it's
Maybe.
in Falmouth, down the street.
It's a pond.
Somewhere,
in
it's a
Falmouth.
pond.
Yeah, it's a nice pond.
And so it's about 2 miles to run that way.
Okay.
But they cater it to whoever shows up. So like
if they want to
when
go
I was
long or
new,
short or...
or fast or slow. I am not a fast runner. I don't try to be. I don't pretend to be. I can run a 12-minute mile.
That's a good pace.
Yeah, but they really brought me in and made me feel like I wasn't like doing bad.
Like a hindrance almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely been at run groups where like even if you're running like a fairly fast clip, you still get left behind because the other people just are so fast, and they're just like, yep, we're gone, and you're like, I'm alone. Glad I came to run with people.
Right.
Like, glad I went out of my way to show up here.
Yeah.
Which is one of my biggest pet peeves as someone who's like run clubs before too.
Yeah.
And one of the run clubs I used to be a part of, I actually was in charge of the walking group, just to make sure like if someone wanted to walk that day, like even if they would normally come to the run group, or if they were just like not feeling super speedy that day and they wanted to just go for a more casual walk, that there was just an option with community for them.
Yeah, because you don't want to be alone.
No.
Right?
You showed up so you could be with other people.
Yeah. And there's something good too about when you're running with other people. What I learned is running at that rate where you can still have a conversation.
Yeah, conversational pace.
Yes. It was so important, especially when I was training for the Falmouth road race, to learn how to pace myself, because in the beginning I would come straight out of the gate. I'm like, oh, I'm so fast, look at me go.
Yeah.
And then after like mile 2, I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I can barely breathe. Yeah. And so learning how to pace, I learned a lot about that. I can't run as much as I used to anymore. My knees, they do not agree with me.
Yeah, they're not feeling quite right.
No, so I did a few Falmouth road race. I've ran a couple of other 5Ks, like I've done a turkey trot for the last few years with I dragged my sister into it. So
I'm sure she's ecstatic.
She was ecstatic, but now she loves to do it. So
That's
like
too
you
funny.
don't know until you try. Like it sounds like if you're not a runner, I feel like it sounds intimidating, but the whole point is to like get outside, try something different, and like be around other people.
Well, yeah, and I feel like honestly, like especially like the 5K distance, it's such an approachable distance too that you can argue with someone who's like, I don't want to run. It's like, cool, you can walk it in under an hour.
Literally.
Like you can walk.
You can walk like a 19-minute mile.
Yeah, can you walk for an hour?
Yeah.
Most people can.
Right.
And if the answer is yes, you are coming with me to the 5K.
Right.
You can walk the whole thing, but like we're gonna go do it, you know?
Yeah.
Which I think is definitely like just encouraging people, and like even like that, like breaking it down for them. Like they're like, oh, it's so big, I can't do it. It's like, well, if you actually think about it, you can.
Yeah.
And like having that community to be those people who are like, no, you got it, I think is like really, really, really important, especially if you are also going through some kind of like sobriety journey on top of that, and trying to like utilize running as like a tool in your toolkit. to be able to be a better version of yourself.
Absolutely. Because you never know like when there's going to be a moment that you're triggered.
Oh yeah.
And it's good to have something in your back pocket that is accessible, right? Like all you need is a pair of sneakers and you're ready to go. So we even collect donations at WellStrong too, athletic clothes and sneakers. So that way, if anybody shows up and they're like, I don't have shoes or I don't have clothes, like, we're able to provide that for people. Because we want to limit any barriers, right? And running is definitely one of those outlets that has very minimal barriers.
Yeah.
So it's a great tool for people to have.
Yeah, well, this is a conversation I was having with the guys from the Review School too, is that it's a sport that you can come at from any angle for the most part. Like if you want to show up and you want to like lightly jog like 2 miles with your headphones in and you don't want anyone to bother you, you can do that. For it. If you want to run like 50 miles with like one other person and chat the whole time, you can also do that.
Right.
There are many options here.
You're not limited.
And like with WellStrong too, and we can talk about like the specifics in a second, it sounds like you guys are really just like making it so everyone can just like show up and whatever version of running they want to partake in, they can, and they can learn to utilize it as an outlet for whatever they're going through physically and mentally. Because running is interesting too, because it is so physical, but it's also really mental too.
It is.
So I can see why it would be and know why from my own like personal mental health journey. It's a really good tool to just like heal as a human.
Yeah, sometimes it's easy to get caught up on everything going on in here, right?
I call it marinating in your thoughts.
Yeah, it's like that monkey just jumping around in your head and telling you that you're not good enough or you don't deserve this or whatever it may be, whatever that you're struggling with. And this really, at least running and anything wellness too, can get you outside of that, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we try to do at WellStrong is really plant that seed. Like maybe it's you just coming in and having a cup of coffee first and talking with someone. And then maybe it's trying Run Club or trying a yoga class or trying meditation. And what our goal is so that these individuals then feel comfortable, say they move, right? Because a lot of people come to Cape Cod for treatment because there's a lot of treatment centers, but they're not from Massachusetts. They're not from Cape Cod. They have to go back. Right. And so our goal is, you go back to the same environment. But if you have tools like I went to WellStrong and I tried yoga and I felt safe, maybe they'll go back home and they'll try a different yoga studio or they'll find a run club or they will find a meditation group. And so we know that we're not always going to see all of these individuals for their whole recovery lifetime. Right. But we want to give them a positive experience that like wellness is something that can help you maintain your sobriety and stay in recovery because it's that community, right?
Yeah.
And that's why running can be so fun too, because you can either run alone if that's what you're feeling, or you can run in a group and you can meet people.
Yeah, and it can change based on the day. I know I have certain days where I'm like, don't talk to me.
Right. Same.
And I was like, some days I go out running and I'm like, I would like to talk to some humans today. And sometimes I'm like, absolutely
You're like, don't even look at me. Have your hat down.
Yeah, hat down, sunglasses on, like just wearing like a really like nondescript outfit. Just being like, I don't, those are days too, I like go running out in the woods and I'm like, I will not see a single soul here.
Right.
It's just me.
Yes.
It's just me.
Right.
But yeah, so let's talk about WellStrong on the whole. So it's a wellness community for people who are like recovering, and if I'm someone who I'm new to the recovery journey or old to the recovery journey, either one, where is my starting point with WellStrong? Like I show up and I'm like, I'm interested in services here, just generally speaking.
Yes. That's basically just walk in.
Okay.
So we're located at 180 T-Ticket Highway. We're right across the street from T-Ticket Park.
Oh, okay.
In Driftwood Plaza. We're open Monday through Saturday, and no appointment needed. You just show up. And then you're greeted by a peer mentor, and they give you a tour. They show you our calendar, and then we have membership options. So we are a nonprofit 501c3, so we do not turn anyone away who doesn't have the ability to pay. That's part of our mission. So our memberships are extremely low. They start at $10 a month and go up to $30 a month, depending on what services you want to utilize.
Yeah.
But we work with all of the local sober homes. We work with the local treatment center. So a lot of people who are coming out of treatment, they might not have a job right away. They might be living in a sober home, financially insecure at the time. And so we provide them a Stay Strong membership, which is a free membership. For 30 days. And then after the 30 days is up, we reevaluate. We just have the conversation like, are you in a spot that you can make a membership donation? If not, we continue their Stay Strong. We just want to be able to give this to as many people as we can.
It does cost money to
It
like,
does.
pay
So we
rent
do a
and,
lot
like,
of
all those things.
fundraising. We do a lot of grant writing. Our membership donations bring in maybe 7% of our annual revenue. So that's just
that sounds about right.
to showcase that we are not trying to make any money off of the individuals that we're serving. It's really important for us that we want to be able to take this anywhere. So we're doing a lot of outreach, boots on the ground work, because also being in Falmouth has its own barrier, right? Like if you don't live in Falmouth or near Falmouth, it can be really hard to get here.
The roads get more narrow the closer and closer you get to Main Street.
Like the construction, the tourists,
It's too
28 is like a mess. So we try to bring programs to other organizations as well. So we do a lot of providing yoga or meditation, or we bring pickleball. We have a whole pickleball court set up that we can bring to the treatment centers or other organizations, and then just creating that network. So if our staff is also in recovery, they can identify with those people, right? And they can talk to them on a level that, you know, a doctor or psychiatrist can't talk to them about different things. So
I feel like peer support is like one of the most underrated things.
Absolutely.
Like whether it comes in like an in-person thing, or like I have a lot of like weird chronic health issues. Like I like go on Reddit and I'm like, oh yes, I'm not the only person here who is dealing with this like weird health condition.
Right.
And just to feel seen and validated.
Absolutely.
And just feel like what you're going through, you're just not alone.
Yeah.
Like,
and
that's
to be able to talk
thing.
about it openly, without judgment, without shame, without guilt. And that's what we really try to provide.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic.
Thanks.
Now, what services do you guys offer besides like the running? So you said running, yoga, pickleball. Is there anything else that I'm missing that you guys are providing?
So we are member driven, which means that whatever our members are interested in, that's what we try to bring them. So last year we had a huge interest in gardening. So we started a garden crew. We have 2 plots at John Wesley Church in Falmouth. And they meet weekly and they plant vegetables and fruit, and they learn how to do it on their own as well. And then when the produce is ready to be picked, they bring it to WellStrong. We put it in a basket. People can take what they need.
I gotta hook you up with the Farming Falmouth people too.
Yeah, I actually met Jenny.
Oh, did you meet Jenny?
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, I love Jenny and Nina. They're like the two, and Ellie's the president. I actually do their social media.
Do you really?
Yeah, so I'm pretty involved with them.
Okay, cool.
So I can, they would love to have more volunteers at the service garden, which all that food goes back to the Falmouth Service Center.
Right, that's what she was saying.
Yeah, it's a great thing, and like Jenny is a fantastic teacher.
Yeah, she seems really awesome.
Yeah, they're really great at like they want you to do the gardening with them, like and physically like learn how to do it, so that way you can go home and you can garden, or like
and that's
you can,
the goal.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, so that you have the skills, or you can come back to the service garden and you can use those skills. And you can teach another person how to do that.
Yeah,
like it's promoting farming and gardening like within the community and growing it.
Yeah.
So
so there's a lot of correlation there, which we love to collaborate with other organizations because we don't want to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, why do it if you don't have to?
Right. So we did have a couple of volunteers who were able to put this together, and we acquired 2 plots, and we have about 15 people now that go out and take care of the 2 plots for us. But that's referring them out too, you know, to learn more outside of our realm. So I feel like WellStrong is very good at, we plant the seeds and then we're like, okay.
Yeah, here's some other places you can
here's other places that you can test out. We also have a breakfast club that meets monthly. So there was a lot of talk about like gathering over food. And so it's a potluck style. Everybody brings their favorite dish. And then they meet on the second Saturday of every month for about an hour and a half, and they enjoy a meal together, and they play a game. They'll play Jenga, they'll play Pictionary, they'll play.
That's so nice.
Yeah. So it's fun, and it's a great way to meet new people too, over food, because who doesn't love food?
Yeah, it seems like there are so many entry points, and like obviously it sounds like you guys are also very flexible as to what those entry points can be, depending on like what's needed. And like obviously you do have to triage things and be like, well, only one person wanted to be part of the cribbage club this time, so
yes.
So I think we're not having the cribbage club this year, guys.
Yes.
So sorry.
We have a lot of conversations like that.
Yeah, you have like one or two people who are like, there's such a big demand for this, and then you actually ask and they're like, you're more than welcome to like host cribbage club at your house if you'd like.
Right, but we're not doing that here.
We're not doing that here.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of talk about what is wellness, right? Like how do you define wellness, and then like what parts of wellness fit into our mission at WellStrong, and where do we provide that? So our organization has gotten really crafty with utilizing our board of directors as well. So we have a program committee that we now have established a rubric. So if anybody comes with a proposal like, hey, I want to start cribbage or whatever it may be, we have guidelines that we can now refer to that is like a grading system as to like, does that fit into our mission? Is it being asked for by multiple members? Is it going to fit into our availability? So
a lot of different things that you're kind of playing with there.
Yeah, absolutely. Because everyone has great ideas, right?
Oh, yeah. There's so many good ideas out there.
We want to make sure that it's not just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping that it sticks, that it's very intentional. So we had a big demand for aerial yoga, so we started that last year.
Cool.
Yep.
I've never done that.
Well, you can stop by and come and do that. We have hammocks that hang from these steel beams in our ceiling.
I love the sensation of flying. This sounds like so much fun.
So fun.
Yeah.
So much fun. We have one that is you just lay in the hammock and you listen to a nidra meditation.
Oh,
and that's wicked peaceful. And then we have the other ones that are actually, you're doing yoga. So you're doing kind of like flips and spins and stretching. And it's great after running.
This sounds very nice.
Yes, it's very nice.
I just started doing a little bit of hot yoga too, and I was like, ooh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's
it's
good
quite
stretching.
Warm.
Yeah, quite.
It's quite warm. It's quite warm.
Just a tad.
It's like a nice brisk 100
bit.
degrees
Yeah,
in that room. And I'm like, I like the heat, but even I was like, whoa, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you feel like you're getting hit in the face.
I'm like, yeah, this is like concentrated one room of 100-degree air.
Right.
And you're like, and we are all sweating in this.
Yes, together.
Together, collectively smelling like junk.
Yes.
Right. But it's good to know that you guys like have all these programs that you're offering. You're also flexible as to what you're offering within reason.
Right.
Have there been any programs that you've hosted that have surprised you as to how successful they have been? Maybe not even like in the realm of like how many people showed up, but just like the outcomes of the participants potentially.
Yeah. So recovery hypnosis and sound healing.
Oh.
So RTT is rapid transformation therapy. And what our provider does is she puts you in a light hypnosis in a group setting to help work on some sort of barrier or character defect, right? So it could be the thought of jealousy, it could be control, or whatever the group wants to focus on. And I remember when we were first trying it, I'm like, I don't know if people are going to be like turned off by this or woo, or like I'm getting put under hypnosis. And we've been doing it for 3 years now, and
really?
It's one of our biggest offerings. We do it once a month, and we've coupled it with sound healing. So we have the sound bowls.
Oh, I love
huge turnout.
Love the sound bath stuff.
So anything with sound bath, everybody comes. We've coupled it with paddleboarding. We've coupled it with aerial yoga. We've coupled it with just meditation and yoga. And when people hear that the sound bowls are going to be there, they're right there. They're signing up.
That's one of the things that's like, it's like, when you say it out loud, it sounds like very woo-woo, but then when you actually do it, you're like, no, I'm just
this
like
actually works.
Yeah. You're just using like your ears to kind of recenter yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
And like, we all think about it, like sounds trigger us regardless of whether we realize it or not. Like you walk by a construction site, you're like, oh, it's so loud. Or like the police car goes by you.
Or the cicadas.
Oh yeah, or the cicadas. Oh my God, there've been so many cicadas.
Awful. I'm traumatized.
But yeah, so sounds are definitely something that's really like triggering.
Yeah.
It could be good, could be bad. And being able to kind of like recenter yourself using that, and also maybe like recalibrate some of your sound triggers. I think that's really, really useful.
It is, and it's relaxing too. Yeah.
I do love that.
Me too. There's nothing better than being like with a blanket and relaxing and hearing sound bowls around you. Yeah. And it hits all the chakras.
It's so nice. It's so nice. Now, besides like the group on the whole, have there been, and you don't have to mention names or anything, and specific details, like any success stories like with people that have come to WellStrong that have like maybe just like that stand out to you potentially?
So many. Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple of members come in, right? And one in particular, I'll never forget the night she came in. She came in to attend a refuge recovery meeting, which is a Buddhist meeting. And so it starts with a 20-minute meditation and then a reading from the refuge recovery book, and then it opens up to discussion. And it's based on the Buddhist principles of recovery. And I remember her walking in, and she was very timid and reserved, and I think just very scared, as like, I'm now in recovery and this is my life, but I'm showing up here, I don't know anybody.
I feel like stripped and exposed to the world.
Totally. So this was maybe 3.5 years ago. She has now become a certified instructor to teach yoga. She teaches yoga for us. She was certified, and we paid for her certification for bar. She teaches bar for us.
Oh my gosh.
She led our refuge meeting for almost 2 years.
Wow.
She now leads our yoga up the 12 steps meeting, which is half yoga, half recovery meeting. And to see her blossom and then take in other people, and it's like you see the light come back into their eyes, right? And they don't know it at the time when they walk in of all the potential that could happen. And to see the growth in that one person from like literally meeting her the first day she came into WellStrong to now here we are, where like she is so confident in who she is, and she's able to bring other women and be a support system. And she's had challenges over the last few years that we have personal relationships with our instructors, right? And to see her overcome these, not pick up a drink or a drug through so much trials and tribulation. Like, I think that's one of the coolest parts about being there and watching the light like return to somebody's eyes. And we have so many stories like that. I mean, that's just,
I like the way you're describing it too, is like watching the light come back into their eyes and like watching them kind of almost have like a rebirth.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Because you're stripping away everything, and you're like a shell of a human when you first get into recovery, right? And everything is being stripped from you, and you're rediscovering who you are, which a lot of us don't know until we do that process and we do the work.
And I think a lot of people will also, it kind of is, it is, it's a relationship that you've been in a toxic relationship. With yourself and also with some kind of like substance, you know, and you've just learned to be yourself in that like stripped down, like condensed version, and all of a sudden you don't have that thing pushing down on you.
No, and it's like a different person. That you like look back and you're like, wow, that felt like a movie. Like, was that even me?
Who was that person? I don't know that person at all.
Nope, can't identify anymore.
And I feel like even people who have not like been through any kind of like addiction recovery process will identify with like being in a bad relationship. And like when you leave that relationship, whether it's with like a romantic partner, a friend, a family member, a substance, whatever it is, some kind of habit that you have, like as soon as you take that away, you realize how much of your personality was like dependent on that one thing. And you're like, oh, who am I?
Right.
What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing.
Which can be scary.
It's terrifying. It's just like, where do I go now? And like having a place to go that they know is like a safe space, I think is really, really, really important.
Yeah, it really is. Community is so important. I mean, we saw that during COVID, right? We were stripped from everything in isolation, and to be able to have people in a support system makes all the difference.
Now, what were you guys doing during COVID? Did you just go fully virtual?
We pivoted. So it was interesting because a lot of organizations, specifically nonprofits, didn't survive COVID, depending on what their level of programming was. We were able to pivot quite quickly. We went virtual. We offered virtual yoga classes, virtual bar classes, meditation. When we could, we would offer things outside. Like we took all of our spin bikes and we put them outside and did spin class in a huge circle. We went for a ton of walks. We started Pure Wellness Coaching, which is our recovery coaching mixed with wellness. We started doing that virtually, so people had support. And then after COVID hit, it did take a while for people to feel comfortable to come back into our physical location.
Yeah.
And
sure.
now it's like the place is filled with people from the moment we open until the moment we close, which that's what we want, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to see the growth over the last few years.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Now, people want to get either involved with you guys by coming into the center and being a client of yours, or they'd like to volunteer or maybe even like donate to you.
Yeah.
What's the best way to maybe, it sounds like being a client, they can just kind of walk in.
Yeah. So our website is a great resource, www.wellstrong.org.
I'll put that in the description down below, friends.
Perfect. So you can fill out a volunteer form there. You can also donate there. You can apply to be a fitness instructor there. You can apply to be a peer mentor there. And it has all the information about all of our programming. And it speaks to both, our constituents, our members that we serve, and then people who do want to contribute and give back.
Yeah.
So, and then if you're in the area, you can stop by too. If you want to be a volunteer, you're more than welcome to walk in. You don't just have to be in recovery to walk into our facility, and you can speak to one of our peer mentors and they'll get you all the information.
I think that's fantastic.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm excited for what you guys are doing and like continuing to do, and just like you said, like there's a large recovering population here on the Cape. So it definitely is useful to like have a different outlet that's not just talking.
Right.
Even though talking is great.
It is great. We love talking.
We love talking.
But there is a missing gap between the recovery, spectrum and adding wellness to that, right?
For sure.
So we try to fill that gap.
Now, is there anything that you guys aren't doing yet that you're like, or big goals you guys have for the organization going forward? Because it sounds like to me, and this is just my inkling, there are many goals to be had here at this organization.
Yeah, one of our bigger goals is to hopefully open up a second location.
Ooh,
So
okay. Do we have like a zone or like a town we're thinking about?
We have a lot of different ideas.
On
Possibly, yes.
Okay.
Another one on Cape.
Okay.
It would probably be past Hyannis, like maybe in Outer Cape area, or
I think that's a great idea. That's a very underserved like part of Massachusetts and the Cape
definitely
too.
is. Yeah. There's a lack of resources between sober houses, treatment centers, a lack of AA meetings, NA meetings out there. So that is something that we have been discussing for the last few years.
Yeah, and the longer you're by yourself in your own thoughts, the more likely you are to pick up something
Exactly.
else, unfortunately.
Right.
So, yeah, well, we'll stay tuned for any more things that come from WellStrong.
Yeah.
And yeah, if anyone wants to volunteer, I'll put the information, or become a client or donate, you can do any of the three or more than that. I'll put the information down below in the description, so you can go just click that link and check it out. So that'd be really awesome.
We'd love to see you.
Yeah. But we'll end our episode with my little fun segment that I like to do.
Okay.
Called What Shoe Do You Choose to Use? And you can just tell me either your favorite shoe that you're wearing now, your favorite shoe of all time. Yep. A shoe that lives rent-free in your brain for no reason. You can tell me multiple shoes, but let's see, what shoe do you choose to use?
So I'm not wearing my favorite shoe right now, but if you see me out in the community, you will catch me in a pair of New Balances.
Okay.
I love sneakers.
Do we know what model of New Balance?
550.
Oh, okay. So we have a fashion model. Okay,
Yes.
Very nice. Is that the
Wannabe influencer. Not.
Is that the one that Taylor Swift was wearing there for a hot second?
Could be.
I think she was wearing the 550. Or was it like the 550 at like the 560, I think, that she was wearing.
They're so comfortable.
They're cute.
Yeah, I have them in like several different colors.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love that. That's so fun. Do you remember the shoe you ran your first Falmouth road race in?
Mm-hmm. On Clouds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Do you know what model it was?
It was one of their running. They have a lot of running shoes.
Yes.
It was like their sleeker model. It wasn't the thick cushion.
Was it maybe like the Cloud Runner or the?
It could be the Cloud Runner. It could have been the Flow. I remember I got gray and pink ones. I was very concerned about the color.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a shoe influencer, as you are. We have to take the color into consideration.
Yes, exactly.
I feel like my first running shoe is the only shoe that I've really ever cared about the color. Now I'm just like, which one is the cheapest?
Right?
Like, I'll buy whatever color
so
is the cheapest.
expensive. They were like $150 on
they're
Clouds.
so much money.
Yeah.
It's so much money. And like, I blow through them so quickly where I'm like,
after a couple of races, you're done.
We can't be paying that much money for these shoes.
No.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
What kind of money did I think I'm making here?
Right.
So, well, I'll have to see if I can find a shoe that looks like what you're describing.
I'll have to send you a picture.
Yes.
I definitely still have them in my basement.
Okay, yeah. Send me a picture, and I'll put the picture up on the screen here now, so you guys can see what these shoes look like.
They're beat up now, but yeah.
And I'll probably put whatever the model description is down the bottom too, so people can know what it is. But that's so fun.
Yeah.
I love that you still have them too.
Yeah.
I'm someone who like I go through so many shoes that I'm just like, yep, no, we're done. That's the end.
You're like, bye.
But I know plenty of people who like have a whole like catalog of shoes in their closet where they're like, yep, this is the first shoe I learned in college.
It's me.
This was my high school like track shoe,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, that's nice.
Yeah.
Good for you. I don't have that much closet space, but that's great.
Right.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, thank you for sharing that with us. And again, if you want to just remind people one more time where they can find WellStrong, and if you have any contact information you'd like to share with anyone.
Yeah, so you can find us at 180 T-Ticket Highway in East Falmouth. We're across the street from T-Ticket Park. Our website is wellstrong.org, and you can find us on Instagram at wellstrong.org or on Facebook, WellStrong Center. And we would be happy if you stop by.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. And I think that it's awesome that you came on today, so thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
This was awesome.
I always think it was fabulous. I'm excited. It's always exciting for me to kind of just like, I guess expose different parts of the Falmouth like wellness and running community.
Yeah.
And just show people like how vast it is.
Mm-hmm.
Which is one of the pieces of feedback I've gotten is just like, I didn't realize that there were so many different like parts of the Falmouth running community. I'm like, yeah, I don't think most people do. I think it's just me who's like really fully like delved into it.
And you're fascinated by it.
Yeah, I think it's wild.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I love getting to connect other people in the community with other things.
Right.
So it's a lot of fun for me.
I love it.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job.
Try my best, you know. But friends, if you would like to get in contact with me over here on Runnah, you can hit me up at RunnahPod on Instagram and then runnahpod@gmail.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube and also on your podcasting platform of choice. It's nice to have you back here in our little local running community. And we will see you on the next episode of Runnah.
Bye.
Bye. That's the end.
Awesome.
Nice job.
That was fun.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Runnah. This podcast is edited, hosted, and produced by me, Juliana Conlin. Brought to you in part by the Falmouth Running Club and the Falmouth Community TV station. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on Instagram and on TikTok at RunnahPod. And you can send us an email at runnahpod@gmail.com. And our original theme music was brought to you by the one and the only wonderful Jeffrey Hutton. And keep up the great work. I'm proud of you.